Lyrical Records presents the Projekt Gemineye Update with your host, Mark Anthony K. Greetings, friends, and welcome to Projekt Gemineye Update number 34. So, before I get started with today's update, I'd just like to wish everybody in Canada, all my Canadian supporters, a very happy Thanksgiving. This weekend in Canada, we are having our Thanksgiving weekend, which is, as we all know, the start of fall and the fall season, which is never exciting, especially if you don't like winter. But in any case, Thanksgiving is one of my more favorite times of the year. So, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. So, also I'd like to thank everybody who's been putting up some very kind words about the vinyl version of An Ordinary Day, as a lot of you now have finally started receiving your copies that you ordered. And I'm very glad to see that you're all very happy with it, saying that it sounded very good. And just a side note on that, I'm very happy to hear that because, as I mentioned before, I did work on a very dedicated separate master for the vinyl. So the master for the CD and vinyl are different, and I guess that's why the vinyl turned out as good as it did. So note to self, I will be doing that every time I make a vinyl. So again, thank you very much for all the pictures and for all the kind words and comments. Everybody who has ordered, I'm sure, has gotten it, except for the people in the UK and in Europe, but you should be receiving yours very soon. And I'm not sure yet if if one of my supporters in Australia, if he's received his yet or not, but it should be very soon. Okay, so next on the agenda before we get started is a quick reminder. Monday, October 9th will be the world premiere of the next, will be the premiere of the single from the next album. The single will be the title track, A Brand New Day, and it will be released on my Bandcamp and on the Projekt Gemineye YouTube channel. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. And before we get started, a couple of other things. The next Gemineye Club package will be mailed out very shortly. There will be obviously this one and one more before the end of the year, which will be the big Christmas mail out. So watch for it in your mailboxes. And one last thing, there are still CDs and vinyl copies available, not very many of the vinyl, and there's still some CDs available. Those are also running out, but they are still available for those who have not grabbed a copy yet. And what I've started to notice is once people have been posting their comments online, I've been starting to get some more orders coming in, which is great. And I thank you all for that. So I think that's it for the part that I wanted to discuss before the main bulk of this update. So let's get to the main part that we're going to be discussing today, and that is we'll be doing a song origins. Okay, so today we're going to be doing song origins 2, and the song we're going to be discussing is The Journey, which has been a long requested one to do. So in part 1 here, let's talk about the inspiration of the song a little bit. So I'll be cutting to a video that will be going into more detail about how this song got its inspiration. So why don't we cut to that right now here. Greetings, friends. Mark Anthony K here. This is going to be part of the next song series. I'm going to take a look at The Journey, and what you're seeing here is the entrance to a building that has a lot to do with this whole album being An Ordinary Day. And in this song in particular, and I'll get to specifics on it in a minute, this is the entrance to the Brampton Civic Hospital, entrance A. Now, why are you saying, well, you're probably wondering why I'm here. Well, the journey has a lot to do with one specific thing. Now, I'm going to drive out here. I know other people looking at me going, what the hell is this idiot doing? But bear with me. I turn over here. This song has a lot to do with one thing very specifically, and we are coming up to them right now, and hopefully I can kind of sneak over here, stop for 1 second. See those guys there? The ambulances? Well, the journey is specifically about that. When I broke my leg back in 2013 and had to get carted to the hospital, my trip to the hospital was very memorable for me. So much, in fact, that actually it became a song in this record. And as you can see here, there are quite a few of them here. Thankfully, they're not very busy, which means that there's not a lot of sick people right now or in need of an ambulance. But boy, did I ever need one on that day, and I thank these people. And just wanted to show you pretty much where the song The Journey stemmed from right here. These fine people who operate these vehicles, and specifically the journey I took in these fine vehicles here. Who would have thunk it? Okay, so let's get back and discuss the music a bit more. Okay, so that was a quick video on the inspiration behind it. Obviously, it was the ambulance ride to the hospital after the leg break, which is something that's very vividly etched in my mind still. And for obvious reasons, it's sort of a traumatic experience when something like that happens, and an ambulance ride is not something that one doesn't really look forward to having done in their life. So there you have the sort of inspiration behind the song. So let's get over to part 2. Okay, so for part 2 here, I'm going to cut to another video in which I show you the actual first part that came to me when I was working on this song, and what was sort of the musical inspiration behind this. Well, the first part that came to me when I was writing this song, and everything sort of built around this part. Let's cut to that. Okay, greetings friends. So let me run through a little bit of the intro section on the bass here. This was actually the first part of the song that I came up with for the journey. Grabbed the old trusty bass, came up with a quick patch, and this pattern came out, which you'll probably recognize from the beginning of the song. And then from there, after he played it a few times, I came up with the next part of the intro, which I'll play from there. And then after that I came up with the verse parts and various other parts in the song. But those were the main important parts that form the basis of the whole song. So I'll get back to the other part of the video and I'll explain a little bit more of the further writing process of this. Okay, so there you have it, some bass playing by me. And just to further discuss it, there's a lot of things that were included in this song. At the very beginning, we had that sort of pulsing keyboard part, and that sort of pulsing thing was supposed to hint at the tension, you know, the sort of tension in the air from the whole situation. Then you have the sort of swell guitar parts, which I really like doing. That's sort of a real big inspiration from, let's say, Steve Howe of Yes, where he does a lot of those volume pedal notations with the guitar. I really love doing that and wanted to include it in this song. And overall, I wanted to make this song melodic and very much hinting at the emotion behind what happened. So I think that sort of cuts through with a lot of the guitar playing. And with the keyboard playing especially, I think that those sort of strings that were used in the song very much add to that feel. So let's get over to part 3. Okay, so part 3 now, we're going to talk about the lyrics real quickly. So the lyrics for this song were pretty simple and straightforward if you think about it. I mean, it's just recapping the whole journey within the ambulance to the hospital. Of course, if you were to take some of the elements out of it, like the paramedics and sort of references like that, it could hint at any sort of a journey that you might have within your own life, whether it be, well, it would mainly have to be around something that was sort of, I wouldn't say negative, but something that was sort of traumatic for you. So it's always difficult to try to write lyrics in which you can have it looked at in a very general sense, especially when you're writing a concept record, because it's so very specific. But I think in some of the songs I was able to do that, where you could take it out of the story and just read the lyrics and have it attached to so many different things, but still come off making sense. But with this song, it's probably one of the more difficult ones to do that, because it was very specific to that situation. So let me cut here really quickly to a picture that I took of when I had originally handwritten the lyrics out for the song. So here we go. Okay, so there you have the picture of the original handwritten lyrics that I did. And yeah, so that's basically a little bit about the journey. And I will try to do one more of these. I don't think I'll be able to do all of them. I really would have liked to have done that, but the way things have been going and being a one-man operation, it just wasn't able to do it time-wise. But for the next record, which we'll be getting into pretty soon over the next couple of months, I am going to try to incorporate the telling of those stories of the songs in amongst some of the other work I'm doing, so to try to combine them to make it a lot easier to show these things and to bring the song origins idea quicker to you for the next album. So I hope you enjoyed this segment of it. I hope I cleared up a few little details about the song and where it came from, some of the musical parts in it. And yeah, I think that's it. So I think the next update we'll be discussing most likely the next record. Of course, I'll still be always talking about An Ordinary Day in some way or shape or form. So, but until that time, I'm just going to wish you all a very, a very happy Thanksgiving weekend. And until next update, oh, by the way, before I always forget this, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do so. We have just hit 50 subscribers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a point of interest for me, and to me, those 50 people represent real supporters and listeners, because they're not fly-by-nighters in my eyes. So thank you for all the people who have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's your chance. Go ahead. Let's try to gun for 100. That'd be great. And yeah, so I think that's it. Finally, I know I keep saying that's it. This is actually it now. So I hope all of you have a fantastic Thanksgiving weekend, and I will talk to you all very soon on Facebook or here again with the next update. So take care. Bye for now.